I'm gonna do this anyway, even though he didn't get on. But Boo Boo, I know everything about Boo Boo, but I wanted to write it down anyway. Y'all may not know this, and I may be wrong, but Andre Ward, upon retiring, had not lost a fight since he was about 11 years old. 10 or 11 years old.
Yeah, sounds about right.
He did it all.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't dispute that.
Yeah, he did it all as an amateur, Olympic gold medalist in Sydney, and then goes on to do basically everything you can do as far as being a professional fighter. I think he's very underrated. I think that there were things going on with a lot of other fighters that overshadowed the things that he was doing in the boxing game. And he's the first ballot Hall of Famer now. I've always looked up to Dre Ward the same way I looked up to Dre Darrell, but I grew up seeing Dre. He's in Michigan. I grew up seeing him, but Andre Ward, just like Bernard Hopkins, he is one of the greatest fighters of all time. There's something that's again, we talked about levels to start this show. There's levels when you become a legend and you have a legacy that separates you from everybody else. It's not the fact that he has not lost a fight since he was 11 years old that makes him so legendary. It's how he did it. I'll tell you guys a quick story. I was talking to someone, and my dad, long time ago. This was long ago, before I was even pro. My dad was talking about how Dre never did any international competitions, and my dad didn't really know why he didn't do any international competitions. He just said Ward doesn't go do international fights. Maybe he's scared. We don't know. He doesn't do it. Have a conversation with the late great Hasim Richardson, dear friend of mine as well. Another legend. And we're talking, and he's telling me, he says, man, that kid, Andre Ward, is unbelievable. I said, yeah, man. I mean, he says, no. He says, at 10, 11 years old, when I would see him at national tournaments, all the other kids, they over there running around, all that kind of stuff. Dre want to come sit down next to me and get in the grown folks conversation and have a conversation. He said, and on top of that, had the nerve to want to speak. He says,
that's a no-no.
I was like, is this a no-no? You know how it is. He says, it's grown folks and it's how it is. He said, but when he would speak, he was so intellectual and so intelligent. He said, one time it got on my nerves and I told him, hey man, why don't you take your smart ass over there? He said, I had to tell him that because he was too smart. And sometimes it was too much to deal with. He says, I didn't really know how to treat a young kid that was a young man at such a young age. Fast forward, he's telling me about, I said, my dad, said that he never fought in the international competitions and, we didn't really know why. He says, he knew why. I said, oh, Dre knew, why he didn't go to international competitions. He said, Dre knew that. He says he comes to me, and I'm talking as Naseem. He says he comes to me one day and he says everybody's giving me crap for not going to any international competitions. They're telling me that I'm scared, and they telling me that I don't want to fight against the international guys because I'm scared. And he says, yes, son. So what you gonna do? He says, well, I'm smart. This dude at this point in time, I think Dre was 17 or 18. He says, I'm smart. He says, Dre, I know you smart. He says, no, Naseem, you don't know what I mean. He says, I'm smart. He says, the first time these guys get in the ring with me, the first time they see me will be in the Olympic Games. And then there won't be anything they can do about it. So when I'm 15, 16, 17, 18, and I can't wait to be on the national teams, I can't wait to go to Africa, Brazil, and Argentina, all these different countries I've been to. I couldn't wait to have those experiences. He said it didn't matter, but he was smart. He knew the only one that mattered was the Olympic game.
He's pretty much Morpheus.
Yeah. He shows up there and he wins.
Carson.
People knew him at that point in time when he was on the Olympic team. He had won national tournaments over here in the United States. The other guys, they only heard about him. They only saw some film on him, but they never touched gloves with him. They never saw his rhythm and his speed and his tempo until it was too late. Now, you a guy like that, we're talking about levels. We talked about Bernard Hopkins, and we know everything that he was done. We know the things he's been through, and we know fighting until you're 46 years old is just unheard of, and he did it. But then you have another guy that just flips the script and shows how great he is, but he's just great in a different way. And you see levels right there. You know what I mean? So when we talk about a guy in Demetrius Andrade, no secret, great friend of mine. No secret, I consider him a cousin, if not a brother. There's no secret that's my dude. I'm going to go to bat for him any time of the day. I don't care who getting in the ring with him. I had this conversation with Tiki. She says, well, what if Boo Boo and Caleb Plant fight? I said, I'm gonna just keep my mouth shut, man. I can't fight right there, man. That's both those guys are my guys. I said, if we're being realistic, I got Boo Boo's my guy, so I'm gonna be quiet. But in the back of my mind, I'm gonna be rooting for my boy Boo Boo. Boo Boo has won 2 U.S. championship titles as an amateur, where guys like myself who has done. I've done a lot as a professional fighter. Most people, Keith Thurman could not win the U.S. championships. And the list goes on. He won 2 of them back to back. Beat Daniel Jacobs in the when he won the first one. I
already knew Daniel Jacobs was giving Shawn work.
Yeah, I'm about saying Daniel Jacobs beat you, but yeah,
Golden Gloves. Everybody talks about the Golden Gloves. Everybody says, shut up. Don't even laugh at it. Nobody wants to be laughing right now. But, everybody talks about the Golden Gloves and they think they know what the Golden Gloves is. Everybody has a dad or a granddad or an uncle that fought in the Golden Gloves. Most times they fought in their local Golden Gloves. That was just a local thing. To win the national Golden Gloves, yeah, I did it. A lot of other guys did it. He did it twice. That's just hard to do, especially for a guy with his type of style. The thing that most people don't know, back in the day, the Golden Gloves was all about being aggressive. So if you had a style like mine, you could win the Golden Gloves, but you wouldn't win the U.S. championships, because it said that the U.S. championships, they wanted to see more boxing and counterpunching and things like that. He was able to win that twice. 2007 Pan American Games team member, won the silver medal down there in Brazil. That's fighting against all of the Americas, South America, Central America, Mexico, America, North America. All those countries you bring together, and it's 9 times out of 10 more than the Cubans left with probably 7 or 8 out of 11 medals. You know what I mean? He won a silver medal down there doing that. The 2007 World Championships. That's the world. Craig, we're talking. Everybody talks.
An idiot.
World, Craig. Everybody talks about Lomachenko and everything that he did as an amateur. He won 2 world championship gold medals. It's hard to do it once. He did it twice. Boo Boo's a guy that did it once, where most guys don't even get an opportunity to get there. And then you talk about everything that he's done as far as being a champion in the professional game. I just said all that to say that he's one of the more underrated fighters in the game. It's just the nature of the business and the way he decided to do his business. The way things went for him is unfortunate. No secret that I'm a big fan of his. And one thing that I wanted to hear from him is, what do you expect to do in 2021? Because now is the time that you have to start leaving your mark. I need to see him in the ring against one of the Charlo brothers. I need to see him in the ring against Canelo. I need to see him in the ring against Caleb Plant, David Benavidez.
What about the one that they've mentioned most and that seems to be trending that way is Billy Joe Saunders.
Billy Joe, fight for him next year.
Yeah, both of them. I think Boo Boo beats him pretty comfortably. I think Billy Joe is great, but not. He's borderline good, great. Boo Boo is great, if that makes sense. Who do you think the best fight for Boo Boo is, as far as Canelo? The money's clearly the best. But what do you think style-wise would be the best for him of those guys at 60?
Even at
68?
Yeah, I was gonna say I was just kind of moving it to 60. I think there's a lot more competition at 68. I like the Charlo fight for him at 160. That's stylistically even is a
really for trash talk.
Yeah, and But moving up to the 168 division, I think that Benavidez will be a great fight for him. As a fighter who, outside of beating himself, has never been beat. And in a fight that I think stylistically will make a lot of sense for both fighters. And a fight that will give him the shine and recognition that he needs.
Yeah, I think go ahead, Ant.
Because of the business of boxing, I think the Charlo's fight is just tough to make still, just the BS of boxing. And the Canelo fight. Even the Plant fight. But a fight that I think is possibly could work and the build-up will be crazy. Boo Boo versus Tony Harrison. I think they both will push for the fight.
So Harrison up at 60?
The build-up for that, he'll go to 60. I'll say he'll go to 60. Will Boo Boo go to 154?
Nah, I don't think he'd go that low.
But I think the build-up to that fight will be worth it. I'm here for
100%. I would watch the press conferences.
And maybe that could lead into a Charlo fight. Because boxing, certain moves you got to make.
Don't tell me you didn't enjoy what you saw, because I know you did. What you need to do now, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, hit that notification button. Check us out every week, every Tuesday, something new for you right here on the Porter Way Podcast.